Howdy. Welcome back to Dion Talk. Welcome back to Financial Freedom for the Lazy Person. The question you have to ask yourself is, are you lazy enough to want to make work optional? This is going to be a nice short video for those people who would never click on a 2-hour live. If you want your questions answered during a live stream every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, unless I'm in an airplane, I do a live stream that lasts as long as the questions do. The purpose of my content is to help people reach financial freedom. The idea is the average person can reach financial freedom in 10 years or less and make work completely optional, even if they're not starting from a good position. And some of my content is designed to show you the methods to do that, or at least how I did it. And videos like this are to show you reasons why people don't do this. Now, I'm going to start this video off with a caveat. I am a fan of the uneducated economist. Simon and I, we have met. We stayed in an Airbnb together when we were presenting at an event together a couple of years. I think he's super smart. I hold him in really high regard. I watch his content. I've actually taken something that he teaches in a way that even a crayon-eating Marine like me can understand, the Cantillon effect, and I've applied it to how I invest in real estate. That's an entirely separate video. This video, and the reason why I want to bring this up is because Simon is falling for the employee trap. Something I did until I was 40. I tried the Marine Corps, figured I'd do 20 years and get a pension. Then I tried law enforcement, figured I'd do 20 years and get a pension. But the Marines downsized after Desert Storm and law enforcement downsized after 2008. So I kept losing my pensions and decided to make my own. But up until the age of 40, I pretty much said most of the same things that Simon said. He was recently in an interview with Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time, and I'm actually going to play a clip from this video, if I can figure the tech out. This is not a UE roast, David Cardone. I'm telling you, I am a fan. And I follow his teachings and I learn from him. But he's falling for the trap, the same one that I did. So if I say I fall for it, that's not a roast. He was doing an interview with Zuber. And it's about almost like an hour long. And it was all the way at the 46-minute mark. That tells you the kind of fan I am, right? I watched one of the videos that's almost an hour long, and I'm at the 46-minute mark, and I hear Simon ask himself a question, and the way that he answers it made me sad because I've been this guy. He's still this guy. He'll probably stay this way. There's no reason to change when you see the excitement in his voice, when you see how much he has decorated his prison cell instead of hunting for the key. But I don't want to take his words out of his mouth. I'm actually going to play the clip and let you see the 4 things he mentions. And then I'm going to break down those 4 things and why these are called the employee trap. And the excitement in his voice will explain why I'm taking the time to make this video. So again, this is the video. We're at like the 46-minute mark. Michael Zuber, author and creator of One Rental at a Time, a community in the school system, SKOOL. And there is an event next month in February. I believe Simon's going to be there. It is on the 14th and 15th, not the 15th and 16th, like I've said 10 times, but the 14th and 15th. I will be there recording videos for Zuber. And if Simon sees this and he's in any way offended, I will apologize. But I want people to understand how dangerous the employee trap is.
There that I can save money. There's places that I know I could deploy money. I got, positions in which that I feel that I can take advantage of that other people who don't have a day job can't take advantage of. Like having a day job to me is like, people are like, when are you going to quit? And I'm like, never, man, this is.
He asked himself a question. People have asked me, when are you going to quit your job? And he said, never. And now he's going to give you 4 reasons why he's never going to quit his day job.
Awesome. You realize I got paid vacations. I got health insurance. I have an employee discount, which is awesome for working on the house. And then on top of it, I got a boss who is contributing to my 401k with me. That's free money, right? Like, how do you give up all that? You know how much value is inside of this job?
Again, the excitement in his voice. I have these 4 things. He goes, I have paid vacations. I have health insurance. Smart. Most people say healthcare. You don't have healthcare. He has health insurance. An employee discount and a 401k match. 4 reasons why he never wants to quit his job and he sees the value in his job. Now, let me tell you how important the job is. First, we are all in that prison cell of work. He has decorated the cell. Look at the pretty bars that are called 401k. Look at this. I get to use this toilet all by myself because I don't have a cellmate, but that is my healthcare insurance. My bunk, it's not very comfortable, but I sleep on it alone, hopefully, if you're in prison. That is his 2 weeks paid vacation when he gets to rest. He has decorated his cell when his job is actually the key to freedom. So let's break these down one at a time. So Simon's super smart. He is investing, but he has this, the way he said that after 46 minutes of interviews with Zuber, and he's on there all the time, often, and I watch his content. But let's take the first thing, paid vacation. He can work all year, 40 plus hours a week, away from his family, away from his kids, living for the weekend, so he can hopefully get the honey-do list on the weekend and maybe catch up on some sleep because he had to go to work and make his content to help people watching his channel, to get 2 weeks paid vacation. Where if you invest for a decade with the focus of, my prison cell is not pretty enough for me to say I never want to quit it, which I did for years. I said the same thing. I used to say, I don't think I'm going to retire early. I believe I might not even retire late. Imagine a year paid vacation every year that you do not currently have to work for. If you put in a decade of investing, it takes a decade. There are people who want to do it faster. The faster you want to do it, the more risk you're going to take. For me, it was a decade journey. I started investing, closed on my first duplex in 2013, retired in 2022. Been retired now for, it'll be 4 years this year. So it's like 3.5 years right now. I'm currently in Thailand. I would be doing this video outside on the beach with the birds and all the crazy stuff here in Thailand, but somebody complained about the sound when I'm outside. So I'm inside doing a short video. This is the background you get. And 2 weeks paid that you work, you have to accrue. So instead of accruing 50 weeks worth of work to have 2 weeks off, accrue a decade to have a life sentence of paid vacations. So that paid vacation, that's not a reason to have a job. That's the trap. Second, healthcare. He said health insurance. That's good because most people say, I need healthcare, so I have to work. Your employer does not provide you with healthcare. They pay the insurance premium. They don't pay the deductible. They don't pay what goes over insurance in most cases. So what you do when you retire, if you're using the 4% rule from stocks, is how much is your healthcare premium going to be? Make sure your 4% rule covers that. If you invest in real estate, I have an asset for every expense, right? I have the travel duplex. I have the healthcare triplex. I have the vodka fourplex. I have the food duplex. Like I have an asset for everything I'm doing. Don't let healthcare be the handcuffs. How many times do you hear people say, I can't quit work, I need the healthcare? Well, how much is your insurance premium? $800 a month? $1,100 a month? The lumberjack landlord had some, one of his kids has pre-existing conditions, and he needed premium healthcare. His is probably $3,000 a month. So he has assets covering it. Didn't need the job for healthcare. He had to be creative, creating an LLC for healthcare reasons, having some employees in it to get the better rate. But premium insurance is $3,000 a month with 19 kids under 5 or whatever his family size is. You can find assets that will cover your healthcare insurance that doesn't have to be you selling your life 1 hour at a time, which is what people with a job do when they have healthcare insurance. So your entire life can be a vacation. Your healthcare can be covered by an asset. An employee discount, the number of hours of selling your life at a place to get an employee discount, unless it's maybe you want to own a strip club or something, is not worth the amount of time that you put into having a job for that discount. When you invest for a decade and you put your money to work so you don't have to look at price tags as much. One of the first trips I took to Thailand, my brother and I stayed in hotels where it was $15 to $30 a night. We took scuba diving trips that were $8 a dive. Now, when I'm here in Thailand, I'm here for 3 months. I had to do a visa extension to stay here. When I leave here, I'm going to Vegas. And when I leave there, I don't know when, but I'm going to go to Mallorca. I'm planning next winter's trip. I'm not looking at the prices. I'm not looking at the hotel prices. I'm looking at where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? And when I go to repair a rental or work on my own house, I don't look at cost. I look at value, because my assets are paying for those things. So I don't want to waste money, but I'm still looking for value, which doesn't come from money that you earn by selling your life 1 hour at a time. You look for most affordable. And that's not always the best value. And then the 401k match. This is my favorite sentence that people say. That's free money. Bullshit. That's your money that your employer took from your compensation package, reduced your hourly income, and then offered to give it back so long as you contribute to your retirement account. Take your money and your compensation package that was reduced to be given back in a match and put it behind a paywall, because 3 people get rich off of your retirement accounts, and it's never you. The first is the government. They know that statistically, a massive percentage of people tap their retirement accounts before retirement age because they have a birth, death, divorce, lose their job, some financial means where they need it, or, seen this, want to take a Disneyland trip in Japan. Or you think you're going to retire when you're so old you can't enjoy your retirement, and you want to retire broke. So you hope taxes are going to be less in the future. Good luck with that. So that's the government. The second person that gets rich off of your retirement accounts, I was this person. I was running a company and we created a retirement account. Yes, I would like to benefit the employees, but what was the actual motivation? Recruiting better candidates, because while it isn't smart, smarter employees want to work where there's a retirement account. I would rather work at a place that paid me more than a place that said, we'll give you some of your money if you contribute a match, and we'll lock it behind a paywall for you. So your employer benefits because it's a recruiting and retention tactic. And then the third set of people who get rich off of your retirement account, which isn't you, is the people who manage the account. They get paid their 1% to 3%, whether your account volume goes up in value or down in value. You can lose money, and they still make money. Yeah, not as much, but it's a couple $100 if you lose 10 grand, the difference. So Simon was you heard the excitement, almost exuberance of, I'm never going to quit my job. I've got paid vacations, healthcare, employee discounts, and a boss so amazing he matches my retirement account. I want to be Simon's friend. I want to tell him this is called the employee trap. I'll see him in Vegas. I hope to see you in Vegas. Have you fallen for this trap? Are you decorating your prison cell instead of using your job as the key to put your money to work so you don't have to? Because there is so much more to life than an employee discount. And 2 weeks where you basically just get to recharge your big gray Delco. You can actually have 52 weeks of never working again in your life. I've been here in Thailand 2.5 months, got a couple of weeks left before I head to Vegas. Like I said, hope to see you there on the week before the 14th and 15th. On Wednesday and Thursday, we're having the Midnight Denny's meetup on the Strip at Denny's. And this is where people are going to hang out and talk about things like this. How do I put my money to work so I'm not living in a decorated prison cell where I can convince myself I love my job so much? I did too. I could have retired in 2018, but I was at that point reduced down to a position in the company that I liked. I got all the demotions to a position that I liked. I got to impact people. I still got to play in trucks. I got to go do presentations. I got to set my own schedule. I was stuck there for 4 years because I loved my job. But in 2022, I finally realized how much more there is to life than an alarm clock and a schedule and expectations and KPIs and responsibilities. There is a whole world out here where I now have control of my time and I can spend more time with my kids because whenever their schedules are free, mine is, because mine is always free. I hope this video at least makes you think, and if Simon ever sees it, I hope he doesn't take offense, because he puts out great information. I've learned from him. I've used his knowledge in my investing strategies. But he's falling for the investing trap. And I'm not saying he needs to quit his job, but how much better is life when you have options? Because someday he might look at one of his kids' faces and think, this 5 or 6 hours a week total that I get to interface with this other human being that he created might not be enough. Because from 1 to 18 flashes by like that. And all of a sudden they're an adult with their friends and their hobbies and their travel for work or education, and then their spouse. And you're lucky if you see them one more year for the rest of your life because your schedules won't line up. Are your kids important enough for you to put money to work so you at least have the option? I know people who reach financial freedom. Pace Morby, for example, he's coming to present at the event. He's not retired. And his net worth is probably hundreds of mine in value, or thousands. There are people who Pace's life is better because he has the option to work or not work, and how much you can learn from him. Maybe you're like me and you don't want to work, but maybe you can understand the power of options. Have a day full of amazing. I know I'm going to.